Okay everyone, it's that time of the year when Celtic for some reason allow us inside the actual stadium and to record a video. It can only be trophy day, Stephen.
Well, it is. So
Yeah. It was good though, enjoyed it.
that was great.
Can we tell them
So you remember last season when they had, right here, and I had that big massive grin on my face when I met my hero at the time, Juranovic. Well, he's had his Juranovic moment, everyone.
Do you remember the photo me and CCV got after the players' night out? You'll be sick to death of me talking about it. Well, it was actually Cameron Carter-Vickers that brought it up to me there. Simply pointed at me without me saying anything and went, "You're the guy for Kong."
I want a disclaimer here that he is telling the truth. Couldn't believe it. He turned down to Hamish and said, "Who's that? You're the guy for Kong."
Aye, amazing.
Incredible.
I can tell people are already turning off because they just simply don't care. But
big
I
ego
found
of
it.
yours.
I found it funny. Right, we have just spoken to. Who did we speak to?
Spoke to Carol Starfelt and Joe Hart for me.
I did Matt O'Reilly and
Very memorable, I see, for Hamish.
Joe Hart. Did you say Joe Hart?
Say Joe Hart, yeah.
Greg Taylor and Matt O'Reilly. We got some decent audio. Matt O'Reilly speaking a lot about some of the things maybe fans don't see as footballers that go on behind the scenes. We're going to bring that audio for you tomorrow. I was hoping to get to speak to Ange Postecoglou, but that hasn't happened. So, that's just the way things go. What was the general vibe from who you were speaking to?
Speaking to Joe Hart, it just seemed as if he enjoyed that a lot today. It was him and Carol Starfelt both mentioned that the clean sheet was a big thing, especially. I actually asked about the criticism that the team in Tomoki Iwata actually brought up. He came in for a lot of abuse against St Mirren, of course, last week. Then today, a much more assured performance. But speaking to Carol Starfelt and Hart, it seemed like the clean sheet was a big thing after. Like they were really delighted not to be conceding more goals after the last couple of weeks. And it goes to show, doesn't it, that although today was again a free hit for us, that they do have high standards, and I think they were delighted to get back to that again. Yeah,
as I say, we'll bring you that audio tomorrow's video, some of the scenes as well that we experienced today at Celtic Park that we're going to experience later at the Merchant City. For now though, we'll chat about the game because I thought that was kind of everything I was hoping for today. I wouldn't say I was like nervous about Trophy Day because, it's quite inevitable what happens regardless of the result. Ange is going to be doing a speech, Callum McGregor's going to lift the trophy, etc. But I did think it was important that Celtic put in a good performance and B, won today. And you can maybe add in a C with a clean sheet, given what we've gone through since we won the league. That was Celtic back to their best today. I thought the team came out with a real drive today, similar to last year against Motherwell. I know Aberdeen were basically on the beach anyway, and I thought they were awful today, given that they finished third the other night. But I thought Celtic were brilliant.
Yeah, they were right. I mean, they looked far way more sharper in the first 10-15 minutes as well. And what I liked today was when McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate, things weren't coming off for them, in the first 10-15 minutes. Times we gave the ball away, sometimes a wee bit sloppy, even though I've contradicted myself saying we were sharp, but there's a lot of interchanges, weren't they quite there, but they didn't let their heads go down. They kept working, and they eventually broke Aberdeen down just with that first play. I mean, the ball from McGregor to Taylor, I believe it was, and then he feeds Kyogo. What a finish.
I know Ange was asked about this yesterday, but Taylor plays as a centre mid now. You see, if you watch him, he plays more as a centre mid than he does it at left back, and he's clearly he said he played as a centre mid growing up, so it clearly suits him.
Helped as well that Aberdeen were a bit open today. They didn't just sit in, they didn't camp in the half. I felt they were at times.
I felt a lot of the time they were 11 men behind the ball.
Nah, I didn't really notice it that way. I just felt as if they were looking to break.
Then. Put the mic down, we'll come back.
No, honestly, I was just, in the first sort of 5-10 minutes, the way that game was going to be, there was no lethargy in the play, and there was a lot more sort of drive and hunger, and that's what you wanted to see. And I know everyone, I've maybe been critical in the past couple of games, and I think it's not as if I'm doing it just to get on at the team to find something to moan about. I personally thought it was legitimate as well, but that's exactly what we wanted to see today. It really, as the song goes, put on a show.
But it does just go to show the last few weeks, nobody today is talking about the last few weeks, and even more so on Saturday when we actually win another trophy, nobody's going to be talking about it.
You did say that though. You did say, look, we're going to look back in these
but
games.
But I also
and laugh
understand it is difficult at the time. You can't just go, everything's all right because we've got trophy day to look forward to. Celtic are right at it today. Kyogo Furuhashi though is just unbelievable. I know there's been a bit of kind of debate about him maybe winning every award, has like Cameron Carter-Vickers, my pal, has Rio Hatate, Callum McGregor, have these guys, Greg Taylor, if these guys maybe deserved more of a chance to win some of the awards this season, because I think Kyogo's won basically everything. Today kind of reaffirmed my opinion that he has been the outstanding Celtic player this season. I think it's 33 goals he scored now. That first goal might be one of the best he scored.
Outstanding,
it reminded me a wee bit of the goal against Rangers here, the 3-2 game. The first goal he scored, and that he kind of turned and then swivelled and put it in the net. But the way he took that goal, and the thing I loved about it was the minute he was played through, no doubt at all that he was going to score. And I don't know, at the start of the season, maybe there would have been. Kyogo's been great all the way through, but I just feel that he's improved a lot this season.
Oh, he's such a clinical striker. You look at him, his numbers say it all. But there was a moment as well, you're saying there was one early in the season in February against Livingston, 3-0 game I think it was. He scored the third to make it 3 just before half time, and he was running through, and that's the moment when maybe last season I thought, like we had the games against Frankfurt and that, when he went through and the keeper made great saves.
Leverkusen. Yeah,
Frankfurt in the head, but no wonder. What a team.
Kevin Trapp, we love
what
you.
A team, great team. Leverkusen is what I meant when he went through, and you're like, oh, is he going to be clinical enough? Against Livingston, I remember thinking, yeah, this is 3-0 here, he's done it. And then same again today. When he got that pass, it was just so smart. He was on his right, but the way that he shifted it onto his left, a wonderful
And the
turn.
second goal's great as well, because he's following
anticipation. He did well. Roos, I think of him as a very good goalie, but that was a shocker for him today, the way that he palmed it right out. Yeah. But he's got to anticipate that, and you know what, see Kyogo all season, it's between him honestly and CCV for me. I think to your most important players, Hamish, and I was just so happy that he was the guy that got the goal to kickstart that today. I'd have loved it obviously if CCV on the pitch with a clean sheet as well. Kind of get your pal I refer to, but you know what, Kyogo was just fantastic, and anybody that says he doesn't deserve the awards, they're delusional. He's been by far the outstanding player in the country.
Yeah, I love him. Rio Hatate is just like you would pay your season ticket money to come and watch Rio Hatate every second week on his own, because he's just I just love players. I mean, back in your day, Lubo Moravcik would have been a player who people had done
Bobby
that
Murdoch,
for.
probably, mate.
But I hate doing this because it's kind of lazy, but Nakamura would have been another one. Players that you turned up for, and you just watched them and just marvelled the way they kind of moved, the way they move their hips, the way they, the way their first touch is, the way they pass, just their understanding of the game. Lubo, Lubo, Naka, I'd say Tom Rogic would have been another one like that, and Rio Hatate is definitely in that bracket. I just love watching him. He does the simple things really well, but he's just unbelievable. The way he receives the ball, always with his body open, the way he swivels, as I said earlier, the way he moves his hips. I honestly think he's a player who I think out of the whole squad that will go to the highest level.
High ceiling.
I think
he'll
go to a top level.
Time. You're right, he has, and my thoughts on Hatate, but you're mentioning those players too, right? What I think Hatate's a wee bit different because he works so hard as well. He works so hard to retrieve the ball with the amount of work, the amount of ground that he covers.
He also gets angry when Graham Shinney pulls him down.
I mean, that was Shinney just made a fool of himself today, didn't he?
I really don't like him. Winds me up for some reason.
He's never really bothered me, but that today in the first half. But good to see Hatate stand up to him. But he is just a phenomenal player. He's just improved his game this season, no end. And I mean, like during the week and all that as well. I know he was no talk about it because it was like a forgettable game. Effortless penalty as well during the week. But the day, several tears to his game. He was just fantastic. Brilliant footballer. Yes,
Greg Taylor was really good today. I thought Alistair Johnson made a big difference as well. As I say, we didn't get to speak to Ange. We've not seen the media comments from Ange yet. I'd be a little bit concerned about his injury, about Kyogo's injury. Liel Abada went off at half time, so I don't even know if there was an injury there or whether that was just a case of getting James Forrest on for 45 minutes. So I'd like to hear what's the script with Johnson and Kyogo, because they're two important players. I know we're playing Inverness next week, but you want those two to be fully fit. I thought Alistair Johnson, he just doesn't do meaningless games, and I actually think if he'd played in maybe the last 2 or 3 matches, we might have picked up more points, because see when one player turns up and isn't pulling out the tackles, I just feel it inspires the whole team.
Fantastic player again. He's just been an outstanding signing, he really has. And the day that run in the first half where he took around 3 play, I think we got a handball shout as well. Do you remember?
Was it not Abada that did that?
I thought it was Johnston.
Abada ran up the wing and skinned 3 players.
By the way, I've not even had a drink yet. I honestly thought it was Johnston.
Nah,
where I was
I'm
sitting.
sure.
They were both wearing.
People might correct me, but I'm sure it was Abada.
Right, okay. Right.
Abada looked good.
He was good in the first half, I thought, definitely. But no, back to Johnston. Just like he's just made a massive difference. He's been a brilliant signing for us back in January. He never shucks a tackle. You know, he positionally he knows where to be. And I've still never seen Alistair Johnson get done by any player domestically. I think it'd be interesting to see him in the Champions League and how he can elevate his game. But I think he'll relish it. Not just lazily saying that and you say it, because I said that about Juranovic Champions League and we know what happened there. He went on to have a few stinking performances, but I genuinely do feel Alistair Johnston will go on to really enjoy that, and I think he'll be a standout for us.
Just when we're talking about Champions League, playing the anthem over the speakers, I think it kind of worked last year. I would say this year it was a wee bit cringy.
Don't know about cringy, but it's quite a flat response to it. Last season it was huge because
we're back in it.
We were on the line,
and it was the first time we'd heard it here in years.
And after all the crap we went through in that COVID season, the manager before it and everything, we were all united again. It was exciting times, and it still is going to be exciting next season. But wee bit flat. I don't know if that's down to the weather and all that around at the time with the drizzle we were getting. That's me maybe making excuses for the great PA team that would never criticise Hamish.
Okay. What else do we have? So we had. Sorry, you go.
No. Talk about the game. There's something else I want to mention.
Right. I just wanted to say we're kind of obviously wanting Kyogo to be fit next week, but if he's not, couldn't be going in a much better place. He gets definitely one goal. I'd like to see the second one. It maybe to me might be put down as an own goal, given it seemed like the Aberdeen player kind of sliced into his net, but it doesn't really matter. I'm sure it will claim it. That first goal was a great header.
What a header. I mean, it's mad because the header, I think, am I not right in saying it was kind of behind him and he stretched it?
Yeah, he was up forever. Yeah.
But the one, it's so funny, isn't it, with strikers like that? I'm happy for him because remember the criticism we got for the miss against Motherwell? And I thought it was like maybe just in front of him. That looked like a far more difficult header. It was great technique. He put it away so well, right in the top corner.
I like him a lot, mate. I know some people are not so, but I'm telling you.
I thought during the week, I mean, I did say he was one of our better players against Hibs. Some amazing bits of skill. The time we get hauled down, we didn't even talk about that. The skill before it.
Yeah.
But when O came on, he looked right up for it. Good instinctive finishing for the second one too. And of course you want Kyogo to be fit, but I do think there's a player in O, and I'm really excited to see him with a pre-season. I think it'll only get better, Hamish.
Starfelt scored first goal at Celtic Park and did his celebration.
I never do that again, mate, please.
What would your celebration be if you scored for Celtic? Knee slide? It's got to be a knee slide. Go and do it. There's no one there.
Probably pretend I was.
There's only Jota. Jota's up there.
I'm sure Celtic security staff would be absolutely fine with it. I probably just kid on I was down in a Guinness. What is wrong with that? Not a lot. Starfelt, when we were speaking to him as well, said that of the 3 goals that he scored this season, this was very memorable because it was at Celtic Park.
So he scored Kelly, Dundee United, both away and here.
Because remember last season, like everyone was, he was this away for getting a goal last season, and everybody was so gutted because we wanted a Starfelt goal. Never got it. Got it today, and that was good. It was very memorable for him. Great stuff.
Awata did quite well today. Sorry, we keep talking. We're just so excitable here. Do you think Iwata can work against teams like Aberdeen today? Because see, the threat Aberdeen have up front is very different to the threat St Mirren have, and I think he was bullied against St Mirren. But if you're up against Duke, who was kind of playing in the left, Miovski, was he playing today?
No, I'm saying, but in general.
Aye, but like what I'm saying is, do you think? Right, fair enough, this might be a crazy thing to say, but do you think it might struggle against a team like St Mirren that are effectively hammer throwers, no offence, but maybe in Europe against teams who aren't necessarily going to do that, Iwata could be the answer, or maybe that's just crazy.
I don't know,
I'm kind of doubting myself.
I think we need to go out and strengthen.
But Ange clearly thinks there's something there.
Well, what Starfelt did say about that, because I specifically brought up Tomoki Iwata to him, and he felt that, they'd never played together against St Mirren, they were just thrown into it. But they built up a wee bit of a relationship getting into this one, and he said that you maybe saw that they were a wee bit more comfortable together. So I think whatever, Tomoki Iwata, not taking anything away from him, great today, but I think maybe it's a lot more down to the seniority of Carol Starfelt as well, taking a lot more responsibility and maybe being the
he also had a settle
for him
next to him. I just think when he's coming out with it, he's what we might need in Europe. In terms of coming out, but I think there's obviously questions over actually, defending. He didn't have a great deal to do today. I thought Aberdeen were poor, but I just think it's that kind of progressive centre back is what we need maybe in Europe to take us to the next level.
No doubt about that.
Anything else
the
from the
Tifo
game?
today? Tifo was outstanding.
Amazing.
I just seeing it again, I don't want to seem like I'm taking that type of thing for granted. I mean, that effort that goes into all that, so that's why I wanted to mention
but
it.
like I had my doubts. See, we, as I said yesterday in the channel, we kind of found out that it would be people on it. We didn't know who it was, but I was thinking like the difficulty it is to like project effectively someone's face over like what are effectively pixels in a stand. You're basically dealing with pixels. To plan that, to pull it off, and for them to actually look like the people. I mean, everyone took a look at that stand and went, "That's Jock Stein." I couldn't see the Willie Maley one, but when I saw the Sky Sports, I'm like, that is the iconic image you see of Willie Maley with the hat and all that. It was amazing, and that stand was great as well.
Standing on the shoulders of giants, wasn't it?
It was just
fantastic. Just well done to everybody involved with organising it.
Incredible, like the effort they put in terms of planning it, and like 60,000 seats.
When you look at us trying to do one of these for people and how shambolic we are.
Yeah.
That when you look at the effort involved in that, just
genuinely,
can't really say anything else.
My hat is tipped to them. It is. It was incredible, and I really do think things like that set the tone for the day. And I thought the team came out flying after that. Post match, we move on to the celebrations. Different to last year, I would say. It was always going to be that way. Last year was a major triumph. We'd only won the league 3 days earlier last year. That was our first game back at Celtic Park. This is obviously not the first time we've been back here since we've won the league, so it's always going to be different. I thought it was great though. I thought the tunes were good. I thought Ange's speech was excellent. He'd clearly planned, what he was going to say, and he kind of kept going back to the whole champions again, because he had a wee dig at Michael Ian Beale as well, which I'm sure you would have loved, because you don't really like that guy.
Nah, he wound me up at the start. Then just the more successful we've became and more games we've won, don't really think about the guy now. But well done to Ange. I think last season it was more of a collective effort in terms of, it was like, as you say, the timing. 3 days before it, won it at Tannadice. A couple of days later we're playing Motherwell. Right scorching day, but of course it was that whole weird one because we never thought that we were going to be in that position, and after one season the Ange, and it was really February onwards we started kicking on, wasn't it? Whereas this season, realistically, we've never said it on the channel or the league's done. We've always said, I mean, not the players, not just giving lip service, but we've not taken it for granted. But if you look back on it, that point at Ibrox was just so colossal.
Yeah, would that be your big moment?
That was the biggest moment for me. Yeah. To Callum McGregor's goal at Pittodrie. We were there together. And
I asked Matt O'Reilly, was there a moment when you realised you were going to win the league?
It's mad because I genuinely asked that to Joe Hart too.
Aye. And Matt O'Reilly basically said, I can't remember it all just flies in when you're playing for Celtic. What would the moment be you kind of knew we were going to win the league? For me, I know you talk about that Ibrox game. That's a good answer, I think. Remember the game we beat Ross County here? We went 1-0 down. A dubious penalty given to them for a handball on Matt O'Reilly, actually. And we came back to win that game. Rangers had dropped points earlier that day. We went 9 points clear. I think it was our final game before the World Cup as well. And I remember coming away that day thinking, we've kind of got this here.
I was 12. I think that was 12th of November. Because it was only a member because it was one of the few games I missed. I was through in Edinburgh with my daughter for that.
Yeah, that's probably why I enjoyed it so much.
I remember being glued to my phone though, great to hear, the entire time when I was at that camera obscura, just going, come on here, come on. And that was a big feeling when we got that goal. Like, it was huge because I do remember, pretty sure it was Rangers that drew with Livingston.
No, they drew with St Mirren.
St Mirren away. They got a penalty in the last minute, wasn't it, or something? 9 minutes injury time.
It was.
Aye, but that was big. I'm going to go with the Ibrox one.
What would your highlight of the year be?
I don't want to seem like a loser here when I say this, but just being back against Real Madrid was amazing. Like, the feeling of that, the first half, just...
I was talking about the league campaign because obviously we've not finished our actual season. For me, 4-0 over them here was amazing.
4-2 Dundee United.
That was a good game.
That was huge. I mean, just for myself here, I know you have all the age jokes and all that here, but those last 5 minutes when we got the 2 goals and the scenes over there, honestly, like, it was very much like being transported back to the great days in the 90s and all that. For me, it was unreal. Everybody at that corner, like, they always run to that corner. You've had it with Venegoor in 2008, and you had it with like Lambert when he scored in the 98 game. It was just like that, everybody pouring into that corner when O'Reilly took it from. So I'm going to go with domestically 4-2 Dundee United after 2 each, thinking, well, we've thrown this one away. And then it was that whole we never stop thing. We just piled down the pressure and won that game when it seemed very unlikely after that. Didn't let our heads go down and we just kept at it. So that is my answer. What's yours?
What are they giving it? Rangers
4-0.
Aye, I mean, that was an incredible day. I'm just looking at the league table here. Finished on 99 points. Now, I know 99 almost seems quite low given how, all the chat about, can we get 109 and all that. That clearly didn't happen. But 99 points is still an unbelievable season. I mean, we played 38 matches and won 32 of them. We scored 114 goals. Like, it's an unbelievable season.
How many points did we get last season?
I think we got about 91 or 92 maybe.
It also goes to show that as much as people were all saying, we could go over 100 points and we could break records, it does go to show how difficult that is.
Yeah.
It's a very good Celtics team. You look at what we've got compared to the other sides.
93 we got 93. Last year.
Goes to show how difficult it actually is to do that. So, I mean, I'm not going to turn my nose up at us getting 99 points. Phenomenal achievement. It really is with the team. So consistent.
Anything else post-match that caught your fancy? I mean, we've kind of touched on Andrew's speech, but people may be kind of watching this hoping that he was going to declare that he was staying. I thought when he pulled out the Tommy Burns quote, they're
burst out laughing at that.
I thought Brendan Rodgers style. I thought when he said, is it that they're always here? I thought he was. I honestly thought he was following on to say, and I'll be here next season. And I would have had tears in my eyes if he'd done it, but he didn't quite.
I'm here.
Yeah.
No, but that was funny part of just reminded me of the Brendan announcement day, of course. But let's not talk about that now.
Anything else you want to say? Obviously, I think another difference for last year's Trophy Day is last year's Trophy Day was the end. This isn't the end. This is just the beginning. Terrible. I didn't mean that. Next week we're playing Inverness in the Cup final, so it's not as if this is the last game. So I guess it's just another week, and we're going to get into Cup final stuff. And I mean, imagine we win a treble. It'd be an incredible season. 99 points and win a treble.
Yep. I mean, seen it done before, of course, and very lucky that in our lifetimes we've seen Celtic win not just one but numerous trebles.
Yeah.
Again, we're not going to just take it for granted. We'll have to work hard for it. But I'm very confident that this team will do the job.
Play like that.
Play like that, and we've got Kyogo fit, defo, we've got AJ fit. I think it'll be hard to stop us, definitely. But I mean, we'll deal with that when it comes to it, though. But for now, it's just a case of enjoying today, isn't it?
And we're going to. Where are we off to now?
Down to Merchers, I believe.
Enjoying it. Looking forward to it, sorry.
I am. Might have going to have a wee Guinness.
We'll maybe get a wee Guinness.
It'd be silly not to.
We would be silly. Right, everyone, thank you once again. As I did say, this isn't the end. This is nearly the end. Next week is the actual end. So, save all your compliments for now about this Celtic team, and we'll really kind of go for it next week. But I hope you have a wonderful night and just enjoy days like this, regardless of where you are on the planet. 60,000 here, but that's probably like 1% of the support that's around the world in various places, Melbourne and Philadelphia and, Canada. Can't think of anywhere in Canada, so I'm just saying Canada and Asia and all these places. I know for a fact we have people, who watch this channel. So wherever you are, enjoy yourself tonight, this morning, today, whenever, because Celtic are the best in Scotland again. And really, for most of my life, we have been the best in Scotland. And days like today, where you celebrate being so much better than the rest, will never, ever get old. And you never know when you might not be able to enjoy days like today. So, yeah.
Genuinely about to start greeting.
So, man.
What a wonderful sign-off that was. I can't top that.
Okay. Bye, everyone.